Racing on Sunday takes place out at Turffontein, where we've got 8 races on the program, and it is a late start. Race number 1 at 12:50 as we build up to the Charity Mile. Joining me on the line is Alistair Cohen. And Alistair, how are you doing?
Yeah, all good, thanks, Raheel. No complaints on my side. You're right, just on the back of the race coast sale at Hollywoodbets Durbanville. After racing on Saturday, there'll be a few horses, I'm sure, sort of venturing out, branching out all around the country from here, so that will be good news. And 6 days from the Allard Steel Road on a Mission Mile. That card is out, ready for download. There's a Pick 6 carryover attached to that race meeting. Just for all those that might be wondering and might be thinking of going to Turffontein on Sunday, there is a cycle race going on, so just be aware of your direction and your navigation into the race course. I think that's the main reason for the later start at 12:50. But 8 races, some very exciting names, a few names that have proven themselves, and a few names that probably still need to step forward and show what all the talk is about. But we'll learn a lot more about them on this card on Sunday.
Race number 1 start off the bipod Maiden plate, 1400 meters a trip, and Monkey Puzzle tops the boards here, trading at 12-10. Open up at 18-10, has shortened into 12-10. Space Mission 4-1, number 13 Reese's Wish at 8-1. It's then 10-1 and better ball those. This horse, Monkey Puzzle, he's been knocking on the door with his last 3 efforts up in the Highveld. Alistair run up, and the form line of his last start holding up quite nicely, especially with African Pride coming through to win.
Yeah, Raheel, since arriving in Joburg, Monkey Puzzle has found 3 very smart horses that have turned him over. Echo Check, who won his next start and was touched off by Grade 2 winner Chronicle King. Subsequently, penultimate start beaten by Trust. Trust runs in a Grade 3 next Saturday. And from that form line, One Eye on Vegas came out and won. He ran 3rd. And then last time behind African Pride, as you rightly say, African Pride came out and franked his own form in no uncertain terms. So tries 1400 meters for the first time in Joburg. His last start over 1400 was second behind Chasing the Rainbow, who's a good 2-3 divisions higher than this in the Western Cape. Raheel, I'll be surprised if he doesn't taste success this time around. I don't think it's a dead maiden by any stretch of the imagination, but he just looks the most likely to get the job done, and I think he'll get rewarded for consistency this time around. The few horses that probably got to be considered for swingers, trifectas, quartets, Mirrorflexion, back from a break, first run after gelding. Might have a little bit more to come. The draw's not ideal, but doesn't need to win just to run into the top 3. That would be good enough. And then down the page, number 10, Space Mission, beaten by Ice Dragon, beaten by Palace Prince. Palace Prince is all right. He's a half brother to Fire Attack. He runs later on in the card. Terry's yards in good form. May have just needed his last run. Tries this trip. The half brother, rather the full brother, MK's Pride, was excellent over this middle distance range. So there could be a bit more to come from number 10, Space Mission. I can give you a quick update about number 13, Reese's Wish. Her last World Cup was very good. It's taken her a while to show that she's ready for a run. Don't think she can win on debut, but if she ran into the top 4, it wouldn't be out of place, and something to work with going forward.
That is race number 1. Number 1, Monkey Puzzle, certainly the horse to beat. Moving along to race number 2 now, and the second race is set to be around over 1400 meters as well. It's a maiden plate for fillies and mares. 1 is the off time for race 2, start off the PA. And number 5, Anahita tops the boards here at 11-10, 7-2 about War Talk. Grace's Kiss at 7-2, it's 10-1. And better ball those. Alistair, I thought this filly is going to be tough to beat you. Anahita, daughter of Vercingetrix, and half-sister to, at least related to Rascallion.
Yeah, absolutely, Raheel. Debut was very good. The full sister to Rascallion. From that form, obviously the third horse has come out and won 1-2 Buckle My Shoe, and also a horse that was well in behind has come out and won in what was a pretty weak maiden, but still must be said, Anahita looked a bit green. The idea from Mike Azzi was that she would come on with a run under the belt, and here we go. She's having a second start with the form line working out as well as it has. I think the draws obviously not ideal, but I think that she'll step forward significantly, and she is a banker in the place accumulator, which is my suggested bet. Plus, she also holds number 2 War Talk on that last run behind Ringer Roses, so that's also a little bit of food for thought. I'm going to take a swinger here with number 10 Palace Script, Raheel. I think this horse is well overpriced. Again, the draw's not the best thing. Samango Kamalo back in the saddle. He's spent a few weeks on the sidelines. Philip and Janique Vermeulen train this daughter of Futura. There was a word out about her on debut, and she just ran like a horse who needs a bit further, and also was a bit wet behind the ears. There'll be any amounts of improvement to come from number 10 Palace Script, and I think if there is a danger to number 5 Anahita, it could come from her. I'm not going to motivate that the favourite's going to get turned over. I don't think she will, but expect number 10 Palace script to be in the top 3. I'm definitely taking swingers here to kick off my day, but place accumulator suggested bet banker 5.
Yep, 11 to 10 the current price, about the top one, but swingers with Palace script. Race number 3 next up. Start off the pick 6, 2 p.m. The off time, it is a graduation plate of 1600 meters. Quite an interesting contest here. The equator at 12 to 10. Parisian Walkway at 16 to 10. You can get 6 to 1 about number 3, Baynak. It is then 10 to 1 and better about the balance. Alistair, there's only 2 horses that are concerned when it comes to the conditions of the race, and they are the top 2 on the betting boards here. This horse, the equator, obviously his last win was quite easy when beating King's Express. He'll need to step up his game in order if they are going to reel off for the Summer Cup with him, but he's a horse that interested to see how he goes here.
Yeah, absolutely. He's probably the most interesting horse on the card because of his reputation that precedes him. He's found, can you believe it, a graduation plate, a horse race at 116, come from the UK, come from a high, powerful Coolmore operation in the UK, number 2, the Equator, the incredibly well-bred son of Galileo. His debut on Hollywoodbets Durbanville, well documented. Sounds like he just wasn't ready for the run. Again, despite the talk, I'm also not convinced he loved the track. The tight turns probably set him back, and never looked a threat. He's a beautiful son of Galileo, is number 2, the Equator, and he set the record straight last time when beating King's Express. To turn over King's Express over 1800 meters is no mean feat. He's a specialist over that type of trip. Again, it looks like the reset button being pushed. It wouldn't surprise me to see him target the Victory Moon from here then into the Betway Summer Cup, so that'll be his path. I don't think this is the absolute end of the world if he were to get turned over by Parisian Walkway. I think the Victory Moon, that will be the high pressure run for him. But as far as the exotics, or as far as the PA and the PA and the bar pot is concerned, Raheel, I'm happy to bank the one or the other. I've banked number 1, Parisian Walkway, I must be honest. I'll get to him in just a moment. But with regard to the pick 6, you definitely have to put both numbers 1 and 2 in. Parisian Walkway, last run, graduation plate, would have needed the run. Beaten by Count Hutiku from that form. Baynak has won. He meets Baynak again. There's no reason for Baynak to turn that form around, despite the fact that Baynak is very enigmatic and can do just about anything on race day. But I do think Parisian Walkway will keep him at bay, especially over a mile. And that is my line of thinking just for tipping number 1, Parisian Walkway, over number 2, the Equator. I think the distance is going to make all the difference here. Parisian Walkway is a Gauteng Guineas winner. He is at his best and most prolific over this trip. Both his wins have come over this trip, whereas the Equator, I can kind of see him just sort of missing, doing his best work at the end and just not quite collaring Parisian Walkway. So that's the way that I read the race. Valid respect for both of them. I don't see anyone else winning it.
You got 2 horses to play around there in race 3. Race number 4, next up, start of Jackpot 1. Pinnacle Stakes over the 2,000 meter trip. 14:35 is the off time. And number 5, Olivia's Way, tops the boards here. 4 to 1 into 3 to 1. Number 7, Thani Player, 5 to 1 into 7 to 2. Son of Raj, 9 to 2. It's 6 to 1 about Chestnut Bomber. Hotter Ruby, 10 to 1 into 7 to 1. You can get 10 to 1 and better about the balance. Alistair, this filly, Olivia's Way, she could be an interesting runner for the Betway Summer Cup. Her last start, excuses not striding out, and I'd like to see her bounce back to some of her best form here, which saw her winning, beating Indian Ocean 3 starts back.
Yeah, she won the Gugu Stakes on that occasion, the old Gerald Rosenberg. Look, she's a very good filly. And I don't think anyone would have lost any sleep over her last run. She had to give a ton of weight away. She was drawn out worst. It was her first run back, and it was over a trip too short. So she should step forward from the run. She's a big chance. For me, she deserves her place at the top of the boards, but I still can't shrug off the opinion that she may still have a few cobwebs, number 5, Olivia's Way. Again, with the Betway Summer Cup, potentially the Victory Moon being the main target for her this summer. So I think Olivia's Way will sort of have an eye on races to come. But with that said, the fact that she's the best weighted horse in the race, for me, she's still coming into her own, whereas most of her rivals here, if not all of them, have probably lost their way and not at the peak of their powers. So for all those reasons, yes, number 5, Olivia's Way, is my top choice, but I still think that there will be more to come with the run under the belt. I think there's a lot of value here about number 9, 2 Miles West. I put him in my place accumulator. I'm not letting him run loose. Jared Penny takes her out for full match it. Jared's ridden him a few times and does seem to get a nice tune out of him. Last time he had to shoulder top weight down at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. I know that he didn't beat a horse home. There was support for him. But just the opinion I have with Joburg horses that run down in Durban, win, lose or draw, their first run back in Joburg can set them up nicely, whether it's the sea air that kind of brings them alive, I don't know. But the trends do tell you that they can come and run a better race back from KZN. I think that the fact that this horse with the light weight, I think he could be very well set up here. And from the front, with a lack of, too much pace, I mean, Poet's Warrior is evidently going to need the run. He could run them ragged here, number 9, 2 miles west, and I wouldn't want to be chasing him down with that light weight. So I've got him in, and I've got all the time in the world for him, and I think he represents at least a good place bet, if not an each-way bet. And then number 2, Future Pearl. I mean, I'm getting this just from the reports that I've read in various columns like Turf Talk, etc. Sean Terry thinks he's got this horse back on track. We know that he grows an extra leg at Hollywoodbets Greyville. He's a far better horse down at Hollywoodbets Greyville than anywhere else. He even tried the idea of sea air at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth, where again he didn't run badly, but not quite the same horse. But just the tea leaves tell you don't leave number 2 Future Pearl out. Again, he'll step forward with a run under the belt, but he'll come out fresh, and I don't think he'll be disgraced. If he doesn't run into the top 3, he might be sort of a few lengths off them and run a reasonable race. So PA 2, 5 and 9, pick 6. I would include number 7 Thunny Player. He'll be better off with that run last time in the Betway Spring Challenge. And then number 1 Son of Raj also got the goods to be dangerous in this race, although I don't think he's the best version of Son of Raj anymore.
That is race number 4. Next up is race number 5, which will be the start of Jackpot 2, and it is Fillies and Mares 86 handicap over the 2,000 meter trip, 10 past 3 the off time. Number 2, Avo on Toast, 7-2 down 22-10, 7-2 about DeMarco's Jet. You've got the St. John Grey pair, Free in Seattle, Future Date at 4-1. 9-2 about Lava Lamp, double figure odds about the balance. Race number 5, Alistair, what's your thinking here?
Not mad about the race, Raheel. I've got 2 horses in the PA. They are numbers 4 and 5, but can't help struggle for the fact that I've left number 2 Avo on Toast out. So put it into your pick 6 if you are looking for an alternative and feel a bit unsafe. Avo on Toast would be hopefully sufficient backup. I know she's held in her last run Future Date. DeMarco's Jet, Key Worker, Free in Seattle have all got her held. But I think she won it easier than the margin suggests. I'm kicking myself for this filly because I've always thought she's all right. I thought that there were wins to come. And I was on her for a while. She did me a favour on the 14th of August. Then her next 2 starts, I thought, right, she'll follow up. And I even said on the show, I'll follow her till she's beaten. And she got beaten twice, went off her last time, went on to her stable companion Free in Seattle, and to be fair, she never looked like losing, did number 4 Future Date. Kachedi's back on board, draw 1. I just can't struggle for the idea that she won a little bit easier than the margin suggested last time, number 4 Future Date. So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm hoping that she can defy the handicapper and defy the weight turnaround. She only got a £4 penalty, which is not crazy, probably well warranted. So I'm going to lead with her, more out of my opinion on her rather than what the form line suggests. And then number 5, Lava Lamp. I was keen on her chances last time. She never looked like beating territory, Arta, but she dictated from the front. Calmer Waters, I'd argue, for number 5, Lava Lamp, from an average rating of 91 to an average rating of 93. So I don't think she's all that bad. She's got a little bit more to come than anyone else in this race. She's less exposed than anyone else in this race. So I think that she'll run into the top 3 at worst. 4 and 5, my numbers, a little bit more complicated than that when we're nailing down your winner in the pick 6 and jackpots.
Yep, 4 and 5, 2 horses to play around here, but Future Date, the top pick at 4-1. Next up will be race number 6, and this is Fillies and Mares 76 handicap over 2,000 meters, where number 3 Hazy Daisy is at 22-10. Open up at 3-1 and her shorten. Number 2 Demova 28-10. Boom Boom 7-2. Hollywood Madam at 9-2 at 6-1, and better bar those. Alistair, this horse Hazy Daisy won beating Cape Saffron last time out. In that race was a filly by the name of Mam Lumbo, and with the 1.5 kgs off the back, she's a filly that could be well treated in this contest, down in class as well.
Real, I can't see it. From 1,500 to 2,000, I know she won with a lot in hand and quickened from off the pace, giving the impression that she probably has the game to eventually go this trip. I think she's biting off more than she can chew. I mean, I know it's too short for Demover, or shorter than her best, but I've sort of sidestepped Avo and Toast a race earlier. I can't see Demover missing the top 3, and I think she is clearly clearly the horse to beat, number 2, Demover. I loved her last run with blinkers where she dictated, went off to the front. Again, never looked like losing, galloped them into the ground. Richard Ferree's on board. Although I think Soma's got a strong hand here, I wouldn't completely draw a line through number 6, Hollywood Madam. I think Demover's sort of been there, done that, got the T-shirt and shown her mettle and shown her worth. She's a tough mare, this daughter of Flower Alley, and everything that this youngster's going to throw at her, I think Demover's going to have all the answers. So I bank at her everywhere, number 2, Demover. I mean, if number 3, Hazy Daisy, does come out and win over 2,000 metres with the sequence that she's taken, the manner that she's gone through the division, I'll take my hat off and chuck her into all sorts of triple tiara considerations, but I don't think she's quite there yet. To beat Frangipani, who's been a long-time maiden, and Cape Saffron, who's a very iffy one-time winner who had every opportunity to win that race, giving her weight to this type of level against these grizzled veterans. Not for me this time, but I'll take it on the chin if she were to win it. I'll take my hats off to Spieth. Spieth is in top form at the moment. Trent Mayhew's riding his winners. He's not too far away from losing his claim. I think 2 winners away from losing his claim entirely, so he'll be hoping to get the job done. But I just think that grizzled veteran number 2, Demover, will have her number here.
28 to 10 the price about horse number 2, Demover, and as Alistair mentioned, a banker in all bets for him. Race number 7 next up, and this is set to be a very, very exciting contest. It's the conditions plate over 1160 meters, and horse number 1, Buffalo Storm Cody, your 16 to 10 favorite, the Mercury winner of last season. It's 7 to 2 about Great Tricks, Fire Attack at 9 to 2, 5 to 1 Chasing Happiness, Almond C 6 to 1, Winds of Change 7 to 1, and then double figure odds about the bottom 2. Alistair, Buffalo Storm Cody, the only grade 1 winner over a sprinting trip, and he's a horse that was a good win last time out. I can't help but get the feel that this horse, Great Tricks, is just a far better sprinter.
Very possible. I mean, look, let me go down the rabbit hole here. There are a few horses who should be gelded in my book. Great Train. Who am I to tell Mike Matthew de Kock and Sean Terry what they should be doing? But Great Tricks, I think, needs to be gelded. A Legend of Arthur, I think, needs to be gelded. They're both, for me, high-quality horses who've just left so much out on the racetrack that probably haven't got to the absolute peak of their powers yet. And I reckon gelding them up sort of do the job. But anyway, we'll learn a lot more, especially about Legend of Arthur. I actually want to start with him, Raheel. He doesn't have to win here over 1160. I don't think he will win over 1160. In fact, I don't even think he can run into the top 3. But if he did do his best to show signs of life and sort of finish maybe 4 or 5 lengths off, he will be promoted to my Betway Summer Cup top choice. There's a hot pick. I think that Sean's got his hands tied on getting him a prep run out of the way. He's obviously no sort of charity mile candidate, so I'm sure the Victory Moon into the Betway Summer Cup will be the path of number 7, Legend of Arthur. This is a no-pressure run for him, but if he did show signs of life and didn't do what he did leading into the Hollywoodbets Durbanville, where he had an awful prep and had all sorts of excuses, then I think that we could see the best version of him come the end of November. Number 6, Fire Attack. I was actually lucky enough to spend time with Alec Laird at Turffontein a couple of weeks ago. This race perfect for him to prep into Cape Town for race like the Lomaral Kings Plate and the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. Off a 126, probably biting off more than he could chew at handicap level in the Betway Summer Cup. Hence, he is not a nomination. So this is obviously to bring him on. Top horses, Fire Attack. And many forget that he's actually won over the strip, beating Mount Pinatubo. So he's got the goods, and they always say top horses can win a sprint regardless of the opposition. But again, number 6, Fire Attack, not in my play as far as the place accumulator is concerned. 1, Buffalo Storm Cody definitely is, as you mentioned, grade 1 winner over this type of distance in the sprinting ranks, winning the Mercury Sprint from start to finish. Since being gelded, the horse has barely looked back, just one blip on the radar where he wasn't quite himself in the post-merchants on Hollywoodbets Durbanville. Other than that, is 4 from 5 after being gelded. Richard Ferree, interesting jockey booking for most of Tony Peters' runners. Again, will this be his cup final? Definitely not. But he can come up fresh and definitely do the job because he is the best proven sprinter in the field. Number 3, Chasing Happiness. She's got to be some sort of chance. She also loves this track and trip. Her claim to fame was winning the Senor Santa when getting a Fillies concession and turning over Mrs. Browning, who ran close up at grade 1 level, and turning over Truth, who we know what he's all about. So each Chasing Happiness has got a big scalp to her CV. Second run after a break. I thought her last start behind Elegant Ice was good. But worried about the form line because there were a few horses in behind. Lucky Lad, one of them, bit flat in the Betway Spring Challenge. Minogue also a little bit flat in the Fillies and Mares Spring Challenge, but she's running next Saturday. So number 3, Chasing Happiness, will need to turn the tide for that form line. And then I've got number 8, Winds of Change. For me, the horse who I think can trouble number 1, Buffalo Storm, Cody Raheel. He's been gelded now, the son of What a Winter. Again, a horse who was held in very high regard. As a maiden, he was running those tracking races during KZN Champion season as a 2-year-old. Completely lost his way. Stiff in the computer form sprint not to get closer to William Robertson. If he's in the mood and the gelding does any type of improvement to number 8, Winds of Change, watch out because he's good enough. He's just very enigmatic.
Yep, that is race number 7. It's set to be a very cracking contest and some nice horses to keep an eye on, especially Legend of Arthur, given what Alistair thinks of the son of Lancaster Bomber. And let's see how his prep run goes into the Betway Summer Cup. Next up, race number 8, final race on the day. And Xenophon tops the board here at 9 to 10 in this MR74 handicap over 1160 meters. His Lordship 9 to 2 into 7 to 2, 9 to 2 about Bumps Last Grind, 11 to 2 Spy Story. You can get 14 to 1 and better about the balance. Alistair, I think this horse Xenophon, he's going to be hard to beat.
What price did you say Xenophon was?
9 to 10.
That's tough. I mean, I'm no surprise that he's top of the boards. 9 to 10 is very skinny. Because I do give number 6 Spy Story a prayer here. His run, I know the St. John Gray sort of black book here. He's not scared of backing them up quickly. Spy Story's run on Thursday was out the top draw, went very, very close. Yes, off a very light weight. Pila Sunday clearly takes it right. I see Pila Sunday has been jocked off all of St. John's horses next week, which is a surprise. He's absolutely flown for St. John over the last couple of months. But anyway, we digress. Spy Story's got to have a prayer on that last run, that novice handicap that he ran. And fit horse, he's going to be a dangerous horse. There has been a little bit of rain around the half outs as well. And he wouldn't have missed any work. I don't suppose Xenophon would have missed any either. And it would be wrong of me to say that he's beatable because he is my top choice. But I just think 9 to 10 is a little bit too skinny. And instead of having a bet on him at 9 to 10 on the nose, I'd rather take Exacted, actually. I mean, I reckon that'll pay more than R1.90 with numbers 1 and 6. Spy Story, I think the biggest danger is Xenophon. Bit underwhelmed with Bumps last run. He will need to turn that around. He did return with excuses, not striding out, but you'd like to see that he's back on track rather than being confident. His Lordship couldn't possibly miss last time. Suppose that he enters calculations under Trent Mayhew. He beat NFX. This is a little bit harder for his Lordship, but he is coming along the right way. So those are horses that I'd consider, but I'm prepared in the last race to take an Exacta here, 1 and 6.
Yeah, 1 and 6, 2 horses to play around in the final race on the day for Alistair. 9 to 10 favourite and 11 to 2 horse number 6 Spy Story. We're going to move along to the suggested bet now. Alistair will take us through his suggested bet, and it is Place Accumulator to have a look at. It begins with a running of race number 2, and we begin with 2 bankers. Alistair, take it away.
Yeah, we've got 3 bankers in total in this Place Accumulator. Might have been 4 with Xenophon in the last leg, but anyway, let's go through it. 25 past 1 when it gets underway. Banker 5, Anna Heater in the first leg, but Banker 1, Parisian Walkway in the second leg. If anyone went Banker 2 in the second leg, I wouldn't put anyone off. 2, 5 and 9, Future Pearl, Olivia's Way, and 2 Miles West. I'm hoping 2 Miles West and Future Pearl can get into the top 3 to boost things. 4 and 5, Future Date and Lava Lamp, by Banker 2, Demover, by 1, 3 and 8, Buffalo Storm, Cody, Chasing Happiness and Winds of Change, and then the final leg Gone 1 and 6, Xenophon and Spy Story, but I think you'll be close to safe with Banker Xenophon.
36 Rand for a full unit of that Place Accumulator. Begins with race number 2 at 25 past 1. Alistair, thanks very much, all the best, and enjoy your weekend.
Hill, yep, busy weekend ahead, but looking forward to it all. Be tuned into all the action at Turffontein, and yep, may punters have a good one.
Yep, best of luck with racing on Sunday out at the Big T.